Welcome back to the Band Guide. I'm your band guy, Colin, and today I want to do something a little bit different. Today we're going to do a blind review of Wave's Lil Tube. This is a free plugin they put out on Black Friday. It was free on Black Friday. Unfortunately now it's no longer free, but they are including it for free with another currently very affordable plugin that they just put out called BB Tubes. Let's take a look at BB Tubes really quick. So BB Tubes is, I'm guessing, their response to Soundtoys Decapitator. I haven't played with it yet, but that's my best guess. If we take a look here, you'll see that it's Beauty Beast, so you have two different BB tubes, and these are just going to basically mix in a little bit of analog saturation, and that is a really cool tool to give you a little bit more bite, a little bit more grit, a little more heft, a little bit more weight to what you're working on. It's really fun to play around with saturation, and I bet this is a pretty cool plugin. I haven't got it, I haven't played around with it yet, but the only way to get Lil Tube is included in here, you see down here, with BB Tube now. So it was free on Black Friday, but now it's included with BB Tube, so it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. What I like about Lil Tube on its face, at least, is that it's a one knob plugin. So it's one knob, a couple little switches, but ultimately you're just kind of dialing it in, see if you like it, see if it's working for you. You don't have to think about it too much. Compared to, if we go back to BB Tubes here, BB Tubes has a lot more going on. It has two tube options. It has a bunch of different settings that you can play around with, and that's great, but sometimes you just need to dial in something quick and dirty and see if you like it. So what I want to do in today's video is just go through in a mix that I have here, and we're going to play around with Lil Tube on a few different sources, and I'm going to give you my honest impressions on what I think as we dial it in. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to start with this on vocals, and I've not heard this at all yet, so I'm excited to hear what it sounds like. I'll do it first in the context of the mix, and then we'll go in solo and hear what it's really doing on the source. So this is just on our lead vocal track here, just one knob drive, and then we have a couple different settings over here on the left. So let's just scale it up in the context of the song.
Lost my last job, can't lose this one. All day long I get no work done. All day long I get, what have I done?
Oh, that's cool.
Prove my worth with a nice apartment. Maybe then I'll find a partner. Prove my...
So we can get pretty crazy with this, and then it has sensitivity over here on the left. So I'm guessing if I turn it to high, that will be even more intense distortion. Let's listen to that. I mean, that's like totally brutally distorted compared to soft. Okay, so a distinct difference between these three sounds here. So this is just going to determine how much drive we have, and then we have soft, normal, and high. I like normal in general. That seems like it's already a pretty good setting. We can just dial this in. That's very subtle right there. It's not too intense.
Long I get, what have I done?
That's cool.
Prove my worth with
but we can also get a little bit more extreme here.
Maybe then I'll find a partner. Prove my
which I really like. I think this vocal on this song kind of calls for a little bit of grit on it. So this is a good option for it, actually.
What?
Let's listen to it in the chorus here.
Every day the universe expands, but I'm still standing here, dressed in my face.
Okay, first impressions are that I really like this on vocals. It's super, I mean, we just dialed it in like 2 seconds. This is just on the normal setting, and I just brought it up until I was getting enough distortion to really notice it, saturation to really notice it in the mix. Okay, first impression are that I like it. It's easy to use. It has a good tone. Let's check it out on bass. I'm going to duplicate this bass here and run it kind of as a parallel distortion track. So this bass, if we solo it, just pretty clean. Nothing wrong with it. It has a little bit of grit on it coming from the amp, but nothing really to write home about. So let's go ahead and just pull this up here on the bass, and we're just going to try to grit this track really heavily and then blend it in with our main bass track here. Oh, did you feel that? As I started to pull it up, way more weight came into this. That's pretty impressive. That's some good weight too. Is it adding volume here? Little bit of volume, so you might need to dial this back a little bit on the output. But let's play around with a little bit more intense grit. There we go, that's like fuzz now. That's gross. Okay, I'm gonna cut out all the low end on this, and we're going to blend it in with the bass. And actually, so this will be my low bass here, and then this is my grit bass. We'll just call this the Lil Tube bass, just so we can keep that straight. But I am going to dial in a little bit because I really liked what it was doing on the low end of that bass as well, just in a more conservative setting. Oh yeah, that's really good. Listen to that here a little bit more. Cool, just dialing the output down just a little bit so it's fair. Yeah, there's way more weight to that. I really like that. Okay, let's blend this in now. I don't think I have any automation. Yeah, no automation on here. Let's blend this in, the super grit track that we've done down here with that kind of now weightier bass on the main bass line. Let's do it in the intro here. That's cool. Okay, let's listen to the context of this mix here.
Job, can't lose this one. All day long I get no work done. All day long.
I'm definitely getting a little extra volume on this lead vocal. Let me turn that down, the output here. Okay, and let's go back to this bass. So I'm liking it initially. Let's listen to this chorus here. It's basically creating like this presence fader here. So now as I dial this in, I get more presence out of that bass. I can hear it better because this really gritty track, it's just, those are right in those presence frequencies where you can perceive it a little bit better.
Dressed in my face. Every day we keep racing through space, but I'm so stuck in place. So stuck in place.
Cool, okay. This is cool. This is cool. Listen to the low end. Focus on the low end and pay attention to what this is doing to the bass, just in that low end. Like, it just gives it so much more weight when I turn it off. So this is going to be on first, I'm going to turn it off, and notice how the bass kind of disappears in the low end.
Universe expands, but I'm still standing here, dressed in my face. Every day we keep racing through space, but I'm so stuck in place. So stuck in place.
That's cool. Cool. Okay, so I'm digging it so far. It doesn't have a mix knob. That's one thing I'll say. I noticed that Tubes has a mix knob, which is really helpful because then I could kind of blend this in on one track. But, you know, I just set up a parallel track here. That worked just fine for me. So you can always do parallel tracks. Speaking of, that's the next thing I want to try it on, which is creating like a super distorted drum sound underneath the main drum sound and blending that in. So this mix is just in GarageBand here. I just did this for the channel to show how much you can do in GarageBand. If you don't work in GarageBand, you can mix professional sounding music in GarageBand with the right approach. And what I want to do here is change out this track. So these drums, we just used the normal GarageBand drums and did a few things to mix them up. And one thing we did was create this grit track, which is a really distorted drum sound. And what I want to try now is changing out the BB tubes for that drum sound. So I'm just going to change it in place of this pedal board here. Or not BB Tube, sorry, Lil Tube. Let's listen to what we can do on these drums with this here. The volume here. I mean, that's cool already. I might need to try this just on my main drum sound. But let's try to get this more extreme. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the pedal board, a little more extreme, for sure. But this has a nice tone to it. Different. A little bit more in the low mid range area. That's where like the weight is compared to this pedal board. This is just a distortion pedal. Okay, but I'm digging it. So let's listen to it in the context of this drum sound. I don't know that it's getting the grit that I like as much on this drum sound. So I don't know that I would use it in that context compared to something a little bit crazier for what I'm going for here, at least, where I want it to be a pretty distorted drum sound. I think this pedal board is still just working a little bit better for me. But let's try it just on our main drum sound, just throwing and mixing in just a little bit and see if we can get a little bit more weight out of these drums. So this is our full mixed drum sound. Let me turn off, did I turn off? Yeah, Lil Tube down there. Okay. So let's just dial in a little bit here. Let's just listen to just this one drum track. A little bit of saturation on drums can be really nice. It can add a little bit more weight. It can help contain the transients a little bit. As long as you're not overdoing it and smashing them too much, just a little bit of saturation can give you something really, really nice on your drums. So this would be too much, right? I'm actually going to go to soft. Oh yeah, that's really nice. So I'm definitely adding some volume, so we're going to balance that on the output here. I love that they included this trim output. That's really helpful to make sure you actually like what you're doing. You're not just making it louder. I wish it was auto gain, so like as I turn it up, it would automatically balance the output, but that's okay. A little bit more down here. So it's still adding a little bit of volume, but listen to what this does in terms of the weight of the kick drum. Check this out. So this is on. Feels kind of weak now, right? Okay, let's listen to that in the context of the song here.
But I'm still standing here, dressed in my face. Every day we keep racing through space, but I'm so stuck in place, so stuck in place.
I mean, that's cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really like that. Okay, so Waves, Lil Tube, I sign off. I give it a thumbs up. It's not going to be my go-to distortion on some things, but it is definitely doing what I need it to do, and really quickly, really simply. Again, right now it's part of the BB Tubes package, if you will. So the only way you can get it, if you didn't get it during Black Friday, is as part of this right now. That's $25 for Cyber Monday. It's not Cyber Monday at the time I'm filming this, so I don't know how long they're going to be holding that over. Hopefully by the time I put out this video. But if not, they tend to have pretty good sales pretty regularly. If you're on their email list, you're very familiar with that. So if you can't get it this $25 price, I bet you'll be able to get it at a good price. You'll get BB Tubes, which is a little bit more complicated, but you can dial it in, cater it a little bit more, and then you also get Lil Tube down here for free included with that. That's the only way to get this plugin right now. So if you don't already have it, definitely just pick up BB Tubes and have this as well, because this is a super powerful, super usable plugin that sounds really good. I mean, you heard what it did on that bass. You heard what it did on that vocal. It gave us some really, really usable tones that just warmed up everything really well. And I would try this out on the whole mix. So definitely try that out as well. See how much warmth this, just a subtle amount of this could do on your entire mix. I bet that's really, really cool. Okay, before you go, I want to give you something. Now, this is a really powerful tool to add a little bit more weight and heft, but the ultimate tool for getting your tone shaped right is EQ. And if you don't really understand EQ, I've put together a completely free EQ cheat sheet that you can download from the link in the description below that will really help you out to just get a better mix with EQ. EQ is the tool for shaping the tone inside your mix. So if you don't already have it, grab my free EQ cheat sheet from the link in the description below. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of Lil Tube? Do you think you're going to use this in your mixes if you have it, or you're going to pick up BB Tubes? Do you have something else you're going to use instead of it? Let me know in the comments below. If this video is helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week with another video. A little bonus for you for sticking around to the very, very end. Let's hear what this thing can do on the entire mix. I have a feeling it's going to be really good. So this is just after my main processing, and I'm going to go ahead and set it to soft because I don't want it to be doing a lot. Let's just kind of dial it up and see what we get in terms of warmth and just kind of girth to our mix just by using this one knob here.
Every day the universe expands, but I'm still...
Oh, wow. Okay. Maybe it's too much, actually, because right off the bat, at 0, I feel like it's almost made that kick drum like too mid-rangey. Let's listen to that again.
My work with a nice apartment, maybe then I'll find a partner. Prove my work with a nice apartment, maybe then. What? Every day the universe expands, but I'm still standing here,
Okay, here's what I would say. I mean, these are all at 0. I literally am not dialing in any, so this is just running through like its circuitry. I would say I would use this if I incorporated it at the start of the mixing process. If I had definitely set this like before I went into my individual channels, I got my volumes balanced, then I did a little bit of master track processing, set my EQ and some compression on my master track, then dialed this in at that point. Maybe I could make this work more. Like, I can definitely see how this is adding good weight. So if you have a thin sounding song, I could see how this could add some really good weight. Currently, I think trying to mix it in later, it's just making it kind of muddy and undefined down in the low end for me. So I think if you use this and set this up early, I bet it could do great things. I think trying to work it in this late in the process, it's adding a little bit too much weight, and I feel like I can't get it to do less. So maybe BB tubes or something would be a little bit more successful here. Decapitate or something like that would be a little bit more successful here too. But just those are my initial thoughts. Okay, I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you soon with another video.